Test, test, 1, 2, test, 1, 2. Oh, hello, friends. Glad you're here. Hey, I'm going to do a little review here for you. Hopefully this will help you. If you're thinking about doing a podcast, this will really help you. And maybe if you are doing one and you've had poor sound quality or struggling with microphones of your choice and wondering about this Rodecaster, if whether you want to buy it or not, and then hopefully this review will help you. If you like it, please hit the like button, subscribe. Maybe I'll put another review on here if this works out. God bless. But one thing I learned, hopefully it would save you some time and hopefully some money. It sure didn't come easy for me trying to figure out how to do this podcast. So I'm going to kind of get started and tell you what I did. Some people have figured out better ways to use the equipment that I used, but I was looking for a simple way. First, I was looking for a cheap way, and sometimes that costs, and it definitely cost me some time. I've made about 18 podcasts right now. I do a pastoral podcast on Christian topics, but I want to just talk to you about the Blue Yeti a little bit. I want to talk to you about the AT2100, which is this microphone that I'm using right now. And I want to talk to you about this soundboard right here, this Rodecaster Pro, which I've used, and also the Yamaha MXU. I'll put the listings down below. I also bought a Behringer on an analog interface switch board to be able to talk through. And I'm not a sound guy. I'm a pastor and an oil field worker, but I just want to share with you a little bit. Well, first of all, the first thing I did was went online, looked at a bunch of reviews, went to YouTube. What else do you do when you want to learn how to do something? You want to learn how to fix the brakes on your car, you go to YouTube. So I wanted to learn how to do this. So I went to YouTube, and the first thing I bought was a Blue Yeti. I'm coming out of Adobe Audition. It doesn't matter so much the platform or the normal recording platform that you have, just recording voice, in my opinion. There's some free ones too, but I already had the Adobe Suite, so I had Adobe Audition with it, and it allows you to, it kind of operates the same as Premiere Pro, so I kind of wanted to use that editing software. But anyway, so I was going to try to find a microphone without using a board like this that I'm using now, this Rodecaster, and I just want to simply start some podcasts, see if I get a few viewers, see if my topics, are relevant. And so at the same time, that's what I did. I went online, I ordered this. This is a USB microphone. This is a Blue Yeti. I think it was about $100. Again, I'll put all the stuff listed down below. I love the microphone as far as clarity. I don't think you can find a better sound as far as clarity. The problem I had was this is just a room. This is just a little office. My wife does crafts on that side of the room. I do it here. And so my air conditioner vent is right over there. I have a fan running right now. And so I just had a lot of noise. And I looked at everything to do with this Blue Yeti. And I'm sure if you had a studio, this would be wonderful. It's a direct plug and play USB mic. It's literally seconds to set it up. There's different patterns on the back to set it up, and the one that I had it set on was cardioid, to where it only picks up in the front of the mic. Where this Blue Yeti sign is, you have to talk here, and if you talk here, it doesn't. There's plenty of reviews on the Blue Yeti. The problem I had is the gain knob is on the back, and I would turn the gain all the way down and just barely back up. I set my computer to where it was only on 20% for the input of the microphone, and still it picked up too much noise. The sound floor was too high. And, I put this over the top of it, this foam, that seemed to help a little bit. I have another filter here, a pop filter that I had in front of it, and that helped some, but it still had a lot of room noise, a lot of stuff that's coming out of the room. So I just wanted a cleaner sound. So when I took a breath, like I just did, I didn't want to hear a bunch of noise in the background. On this, you would still, whenever I would stop talking, no matter how low you set the gain, you would still see right here on my computer, whenever I'd stop talking, you'd still see it wouldn't drop like that. It would still see some half volume, and it would pick up that noise. So yes, it was in the sense it was picking up my voice, but when I stopped talking, it's like it reaches out to find more noise. And this microphone will do the same thing to a degree, but this is a dynamic microphone, about $100 to $110. This is $78 with mic stand and all, not the arm, but just for the mic and with a little desk mic stand. And this just works so much better for me. And it's also, what I love about this mic is the ATR 2100 is it actually will plug in USB and also XLR. So XLR cable like that, most of you are familiar with what XLR is. So if you had a board like this, which is XLR imports, or if you had something like the Behringer that I had before, you can plug this into that. Or if you want the USB connection like this Blue Yeti has with this connection here, it will also plug plug in. And that was not an option on this. Now they do sell a $20, I think it is, more model of this that has both capabilities, but still same problem. It's too hot of a mic for not having a studio, in my opinion. So what else did I do? So I said, I did my own podcast with me personally, and then I wanted to bring in some guests. Well, the problem I had there is I wanted to bring in some other guests. And so to take 2 USB microphones, there are some people that have done it, but it's few and far between successful. And I tried it and I played with settings on my computer. I just couldn't get 2 microphones to work in the computer. Again, you can research and find something to where that works, but I just wanted more control. I want to be able to turn. So if I made a phone call, if I called someone on the mobile phone, I wanted to be able to bring their voice up and down. I wanted to be able to patch someone in. Well, whenever I got the Yamaha, and I'll show a little video clip with my head cut off because that's what I was recording earlier before I sent it back. And here it is. You can see as I get away from the microphone, you can hear me, but hear me not near as good because it's a dynamic microphone. Again, it's not going to pick up a lot in the room, but since I don't have a studio, that works perfect for me because I don't want to hear a bunch of stuff and a bunch of echoing in the cars that drive by, my dog barking outside. I don't want to be able to hear that. So this is a dynamic microphone. So when I get out here, you cannot hear the audio as well, which means the noise floor is going to be lower. So I bought this MG10XU. I thought, man, this is the answer. For $200, I don't have to spend the $599 for this Rodecaster Pro. I don't need to, I'm not going to spend that kind of money. So I'm going to spend the $200. So I bought this and I plugged it in. Immediately I noticed there just wasn't enough gain coming through. And I turned all my levels up on my computer. I turned them all up to where they was at 100%, 95%, and I still couldn't get enough audio through. See over here, if you can see my mouse right here, where I started to back away from the mic, it's real narrow. Well, that's what that MG10XU did, is I couldn't get any gain, and I started looking at reviews, and it said, yeah, that's the problem, but it's easily fixed in post-processing, blah, blah, blah. Well, then I wanted to hook my cell phone in. Right now, I just made a phone call. I'm going to show you a little audio clip here just for about 30 seconds or so, one with my wife, another with a friend of mine. They didn't even know I was going through an audio interface. Okay. All right, I was just setting up some recording stuff in my little homemade studio here. Did you know that you was on a microphone and a headset going through a computer? Could you tell?
No.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? So I was just doing a review, getting ready to call my wife, and I'm like, this is the most awesome thing I've ever. It's for podcasting, for like when you have guests come in and stuff like that.
Yes.
And so I was like, when I answered, I figured you'd say, why do you sound funny? But I just got it. I just got it out of the box.
You're on a headset and a computer, huh?
Yeah. And going through a microphone and audio interface. I didn't record anything we said until I said, hey, off the subject, but I just started recording for the point of doing a review for this bomb little switchboard that I just bought for $600. That's what it's supposed to do. You're not supposed to be able to know. I mean, so when someone calls in and you do an interview to where you can talk to them and record it, and then you can, you can share it with people.
Jason, that's amazing. Well, It's pretty darn cool. What are those things? What are you going to do with it? You going to do church stuff with it or what?
Yeah, I've been doing a podcast for about 2 months, and they're 20-minute segments on life, application, the word, talking about problems, depression, anxiety. I've been doing them for a while, but I've had them, how it is, just like we've done on things. I got the cheap, and then I spent a bunch of money and then got frustrated and finally got something that was decent. If that's one thing I want to say, that's hooked in through Bluetooth through this. It literally took me less than 10 seconds to patch my phone into this and be able to record. It took me within 15 minutes out of the box to be able to start recording the quality that I was satisfied with. I just wanted to do this review to say I bought a $200 mixer, $100 worth of cables, because I wanted to try different ways. I wanted to go, in through, a splitter, which is basically just an audio splitter that comes out from your cell phone. I bought a cable to go to I have a Pixel 2, and I found this cable it was $10, and basically it allows you to go USB-C from your Pixel 2, and you would plug that into the bottom here, and after you would plug that USB-C in here connector to 3.5, then you would plug that in here, and then there is an out and an in, and I used that, which then I plugged in to this, which one was out, one was in. I tried it that way. Then I also tried it with an XLR like this to use one channel, an out or an in, and I tried both ways. And then I would plug it into there, and then I would plug that into this MG10XU. And hopefully some of you have kind of fooled around with this so you understand that was a lot of cables and a lot of work. And I bought them all on Amazon, got the best deal I could, but I still like to buy, decent quality cables, because I've learned a long time ago, if you buy a cheap cable and it doesn't work, you've just cost yourself a lot of time and 2 more days shipping, by the way. But anyway, so I did work hard at trying to get this to work with a phone call coming in. That was my main thing. If I just wanted to do a single podcast, I would have bought this in advance. Here's what I would have done. Here's what you're all waiting to hear. I would have bought this $78 microphone. I would have got Adobe Audition or one of the other free platforms of recording, and then I would have plugged it straight into my computer and I would have started my podcast. But my problem is starting to add a guest. When you add a guest, there are ways to patch and make it work that were online, but I found it very difficult to be able to do, especially in multi-track, to where you have the tracks separated. I could not get it to work plugging 2 USB microphones into the computer. Now, there are some people in reviews, and you can find out and go through this big process to be able to do it, but it's still hard to manage. And then, if I have had a guest sitting here and working, you got to buy a headphone splitter to where they can hear what they're talking about or just not hear what's going on. There's just a lot of cables and a lot of work. This Rodecaster Pro, this literally was a power cable, a microphone, an XLR input, headphone jack, and you got your own headphone levels here. I can turn this up and I can hear myself more. It's just amazing. And by the way, one of the reasons I set that Behringer back was because I found out it wouldn't plug straight into my computer. I was going to have to buy an audio interface or a sound card, whatever you want to call it, to go between my mixer and then my computer. This was the big claim to fame on this MG10XU, that you can plug it straight into your computer, and you can, and it did work. And I'm sure it has its, if you have a band or something and guitars and microphones, you may need this. But just to simplify things, I got this, plugged it straight in, this digital platform, simple, no other things needed, one cable from this mixer down to your computer, and it's been excellent already. And I've recorded all this audio on here. I didn't mean for this video to get that long, and I'm kind of excited, so it's kind of, probably choppy. But the whole point is if you're going to do a podcast, you're going to do some type of recording, save yourself the time. And if you want guests, if you don't want guests, buy this ATR microphone, and I'll put it in the comments, $78, plug it into your computer. You can download a free, or whether you have Apple or Mac interface audio to record, and you can do it. I bought this arm because it's easy for me, because I use this as multi-purpose. I can fold this arm up out of the way, $30-$40. I bought these headphones at Walmart. It was just such a lot simpler thing to be able for me to do. And you know what I like about this? Another thing about this Rodecaster Pro, it records directly to an SD card. Friends, I hope this video has been good for you. I encourage you to like it if you like this review, and also ask any questions down below if I can help you in any way. And if you have a topic, you have an interest that you like, and you think maybe we'll be able to help other people, I encourage you to go out and get a USB microphone, a Techna AT2100, and start a YouTube channel, start a podcast, and inform people, because you never know how much it would help somebody else. And until then, friends, thank you. Subscribe and thumbs up if you like it. God bless.